Hi Math Gang, I'm Lori Mills and I will be your instructor this term. First of all, whether this is your first online course or your last online course, I just want to congratulate you for having the guts to take this academic journey. I wish everyone all the best this term, and please don't hesitate to reach out when you have questions or concerns. This is one of the few times you'll actually see me. I do find the webcam a little bit distracting, but I wanted to show you that I am a human and I'm here to help you along in the course. You'll find that most of my time is being a guide and answering your questions. There's lots of videos that I've posted where I do teach, but being an online course, you're going to do a lot of the learning for yourselves. So please reach out whenever you have questions. That's what I'm here for. Speaking of contacting me, you can contact me through college email and through my cell phone, either by phoning or texting. Those really are the best ways to get in contact with me. I would like to discourage you from using the Brightspace pager and email, as it's been my experience that those aren't the most reliable ways to get in contact with your instructor. The best way is through email, through telephone or text if that's provided to you. And for me, that's definitely my preferred way. And also through the Q&A discussions in the units, which I love. The more questions we have posted there, the more answers we can collect from the class and share with everyone in the class and build a really strong community of learners through that Q&A. And I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. So the real purpose of this tutorial is to show you the welcome unit and where to get started. It's very normal to feel overwhelmed when you get into a course, but hopefully within the next week you'll become familiar with our homepage, our course page, in Brightspace, and how to navigate within it. So I'm right now on our course homepage. Mine doesn't have any announcements posted because I haven't posted. That's what this video is for. But you can see on the right, I do have our schedule listed, and you can see that there are some deadlines already listed. This Friday, January the 11th, is when the welcome unit is due, including the following assignments. So I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. First of all, once you have caught up on the announcements, and I will be posting pretty much every day in the start, and then there's weekly newsletters as we move on. If you don't have the Pulse app, Brightspace Pulse app downloaded to your cell phone, that's a great free app to put on there. It means that you'll get your announcements directly to your phone. You'll also have your schedule on your phone so that you can view that. And if you're taking more than one online course, the Pulse app is fantastic for showing you peak work times, when the deadlines are going to be in each of your courses. So if you don't have that app, I highly recommend that you download that free app as soon as possible. So how do you get to the welcome unit? Well, all of our units are listed under content. So you're going to go into content. And when you bring up content, it always brings you to the last unit you worked on. So for me, it was Unit 1, Number Theory, but where I would like everyone to go would be this welcome unit here. So click on Welcome. And then what you do is you start at the very top of each unit and you work your way down sequentially. So there is an order to these units, and you just want to start at the top and work your way down. And as you complete a module, you will see that this dot goes from a dot to a check mark. So here is my contact information. And then when I click on here, on the title, it brings you to my contact information again. This is just a short module. And when you go back to the welcome unit by clicking welcome, you'll see that I've got a check mark to show that I've completed that module. And that's what you want to do, is you want to then move on to the next little module, click on it, read through it, and then you get the check mark. One of the main things that we want you to do in the welcome unit is this to-do list. When you click on the to-do list, it's going to give you a bunch of instructions on how to set up your computer to get ready for the course, how to register for your e-textbook and the My Math Lab program where our homework and our tests are. It's going to guide you through all of those things. So start at the top, watch my little video here to determine if you're in the right math course, work down where you talk about Brightspace, and then how to set up My Math Lab, how to set up your e-textbook, and so on and so forth. So you want to make sure that you complete everything in the to-do list so that you are ready to take on this course. I'm going to go back to the welcome unit. And once you've done the to-do list, you can then access the course outline and work plan. Our schedule and deadlines are also easy to get to in the welcome unit. And then we have the self-assessment. So whenever we start a Math 1046 course, there are some students that kind of get in a little bit over their head because they don't have the foundation skills needed in order to build on for the higher level stuff that we are doing in Math 1046. This is a university prep course that covers the materials that you would learn in an academic math course in grades 11 and 12 in high school. And it's condensed in 2 14-week courses. So this is part 1 of academic mathematics, 1046, and then part 2 is our Math 1047 course that we hold in the spring summer, another 14-week course. So it's really spanning 2 years of academic study into 2 short 14-week courses. So it's a lot of material. And if you don't have the foundation skills coming into it, you're not going to be able to get those foundation skills and build on them in this course. So it's really, really important that we level set with everyone that sometimes for Math 1046, it really has to be the right timing for you. So what the self-assessment test is going to do for you is it's going to give you an idea of where you are in those foundational skills, what foundation skills that you might need to brush up on, and maybe give you a moment to pause and reflect on, is Math 1046 the right level for you to start at? We have a Math 1043 course which looks at those foundation skills and gets those foundation skills nice and strong to lead into Math 1046. So if you are feeling very, very rusty and want to have more time to look at those foundation skills, you might want to think about transferring into a Math 1043 course before taking on the challenge of a Math 1046 course. So we do give you a practice assessment where you can go in and look at a practice test and see how you do on that. You have about 10 attempts on that one, so you can retry it over and over again. And then this link here is the actual self-assessment test. You have 1 attempt at that with 21 questions, and we're looking at about an 80% mark on that self-assessment test to really know that you have the foundation skills that are strong enough to build on for this course. If you get less than an 80%, you may want to reach out to me so we can discuss options and really make sure that you are comfortable in your decision to do Math 1046, or maybe I can help you guide you to our registrar to switch into a Math 1043 course, or maybe wait a term, go and do a free online course maybe through Khan Academy to get your foundation skills up to snuff before going into Math 1046. So there's lots of options depending on where you fall with your math skills. And then lastly, we have a discussion assignment where you introduce yourself. So what you'll want to do is answer these questions in your introduction and say hello to your fellow classmates. And when you're ready to post, you just click on this discussion and you're going to click on Start a New Thread to post the answers to these questions. And then at the end of the welcome unit, I'll bring you back, you'll see that all the units have the Q&A discussion, and this is where you can ask some questions. If there are questions that you think your classmates would like to know the answers to, this is where you post. If your questions are more of an individual nature and you don't feel comfortable sharing them with the class, then you can reach out to me via email or cell phone, and I'll answer those questions there. The introduction welcome unit should only take you until Friday to complete. Then you're going to want to move on to your Unit 1 math. So if you click on Unit 1 number theory, you'll see that all the units are set up very similar to this. We start off with the outcomes that we'll be covering, the textbook sections P1 to P4, and we look at approximately 3 hours per section to complete for each of these. A what to do section, which is going to talk about what you do in the course in the unit. We have some extra resources here, which are videos and worksheets on each of the units, so you can have a look. None of these are for marks. These are all just for added practice and added information. So anything under resources is just voluntary in terms of what you want to look at. And then we have our homework, and our homework sections are divided, in this case, into 4 sections. Some units have 7 sections, some units have 3 sections. It's just dependent on the section, so you're going to want to watch your time. You can see that for the first unit, you have until February the 1st to do. That does not mean leaving everything until the day before February the 1st. The reason why we give you 4 weeks is that it's going to take you 4 weeks to learn the material and practice the material. And in math, it's really important that you have pauses between your learning. Those pauses are what's going to allow your brain to absorb the new material, to process it, and then to move on. And the more times you practice and you review and give yourself time in between for your brain to absorb and process, the more success you have. Someone who studies 14 hours in 3 weeks and someone who studies the same amount of time, 14 hours, but the night before, the person that was able to spread out their 14 hours of study is going to do 10 times better than that person who studied all those 14 hours the day before, just because our brains aren't good at processing that amount of material in a short period of time. So, moral of the story is spread out your study sessions. A little bit every day is better than all of it the day before. When you click on your homework section, you will see that the homework section has a lecture that I have done. This would be the lecture that I would do in an in-class session. And then when you click on this homework section, it's going to pop you out into my math lab and give you the homework questions that you're going to be doing for the session. It's for the section, and you can see this section has 52 questions to complete as you go. And I'm just going to click on, start with question 1, but I'm going to click on question 30 just because I wanted to show you some of the tools that you can use when you're doing a question. When you go up to question help, you'll see that there's a help me solve this button, there's a view an example, there's a link to the textbook, there's this handy dandy ask my instructor, which I encourage everyone to use. When you click on that, it's going to send an email to me with the question you're having trouble with, and you can type in exactly what your question to me is. Lori, can you help me with this question? I'm not sure about blah, 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 blah. And I can see exactly what question you are talking about. So the question help tool is fantastic in the homework, and you can complete the homework, complete the questions as often as you like to get the mark you like. So I have some students that get all hundreds on their homework because they're allowed to redo it as often as they like up until the deadline of the unit. So that's kind of handy. Don't feel that you need to have 100% on all of your homework because that's going to take a lot of time to get there. But you do have lots of opportunity to get the best mark that you wish to have in your homework. So in Unit 1, we have 4 sets of homework that you will complete. Then there's the study plan. So as you complete your homework, you can go into this study plan, which is completely voluntary and not for marks, and it creates an individual study plan just for you based on the weak areas you were having in your homework. So that's a great added practice section that you can use. There is a Brightspace assignment for you to complete, which is Unit 1 Sticky Questions assignment. Here are the instructions to that assignment, and that is a discussion assignment that you post. So you want to have a look at that. Your Unit 1 pretest is here. It's in my math lab, so you're going to click on this link to do the pretest. Pretests are for marks, and they're worth 20% of your mark. So you want to do well on the unit pretest, and you have 2 attempts to complete it. So you can complete the first one sort of as your practice test, and then you can go back and complete a second one. It's going to be the same questions, just different data, and it's going to choose your best mark. So let's say your first attempt you do really well, and your second attempt not so well, or maybe you decide not to do your second attempt. It's just going to take your highest attempt. So there shouldn't be any worry about your pretest. It should be done after you've done all of your homework and after you've asked all of your questions before you start your pretest. But the pretest is going to give you a pretty good idea of how you're going to do on your unit test. Your unit test, Unit 1 is a Proctor Test. It's completed on campus, so you're going to have to click on the Service and Information tab at the top right here to see when your local campus testing hours and to make an appointment. You have just 1 attempt on your Proctor Test, so you want to make sure you're ready for it. It's 120 minutes. You are allowed a 1-page double-sided study sheet. So as you are working through your homework and you're taking notes, anything that you feel that you may need in your test, you're allowed to put on this 1-page double-sided study sheet. So you're going to be creating that as you go along in your studies in Unit 1. You will need a calculator, scientific calculator. You can get them anywhere from $3 at the dollar store to $20 at Walmart. Do not get one that's a graphing calculator. You won't need that. Just a very basic scientific calculator. You're going to want one that has a square roots function, that's going to have an exponents function. And you are going to be allowed scrap paper to write your answers down on. You're not permitted to use a smartphone, and you're not permitted to use websites outside the test, so just be wary of that. When you are done your test, you're going to be able to review it in my math lab, and if there are any questions that you would like me to look at for partial marks, please just reach out, and then I will go in and I'll review your test. And sometimes there are a lot of partial points that I can put in. Let's say that you didn't simplify your answer. The computer might give you 0, whereas I might give you 0.5 of a mark, and it's amazing how much those 0.5s really do add up. So don't be afraid to reach out after a test and ask me to review. 60% is what is needed to pass a unit, and it is mandatory to pass the unit test regardless of your overall mark to pass the course. So I'll be talking a little bit about that when we get closer to our Unit 1 deadline. And Unit 1, there's also a discussion assignment for you to complete. And then after that, there is our Q&A discussions that are in every unit, and that's where you ask the questions that you would normally ask in class. And if you have the answer to a classmate's question, please go ahead and answer. It doesn't just have to be me, but I'm pretty on the ball with these. I like to answer them as quickly as I can when they come in, and usually it's through video. Well, it's almost on the 20-minute mark of the video, which is way too long, but for an intro video, I hope you do find this helpful to get you started. A lot of information can be very overwhelming at the beginning, and that's why it's important you take it one module at a time and spread out your study. Make sure you have lots of time to visit your course throughout the week. Set up a study schedule. That's always very, very helpful. And start with the welcome unit. If you can complete everything in the welcome unit, you are creating a really strong foundation to find success in the rest of this math course. So I look forward to working with everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye for now.